6 staff under me now. The boys on site, I probably see them more than I do my partner. So, yeah, it's pretty unique. You need to be able to gel with your team.
Welcome to Building Perspective, the Master Builders SA podcast. I'm your host, Will Frogley. Join me as I speak with some characters in the building and construction industry.
Master Builders Insurance Brokers is where the building and construction industry goes for specialist advice. We know the right insurance cover is essential to the success of builders of all sizes. And we're here to help you understand, select and manage the right cover for your business. How do you know you've got the right cover? You trust the industry specialists.
Well, ever since COVID-19, South Australians have had a far greater demand for living out in the country, and our guest today is someone who's country born and bred, and that's Matt Cates, who's a great up-and-coming builder from 4Life Constructions. Welcome, Matt.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, Will.
And you and I have known each other for a long time now, haven't we? We've known each other from the ways around Port Elliot, Knights Beach, dating back many years now, probably 15,
It's
20
gone back
years.
a while.
Yep. And you still get time to get out in the water, I assume, a lot more than me anyway.
I try to balance it out. So bit of work, bit of surf, but tough year this one. But trying to make the most of it. You need that outlet, you know?
You do. You're very lucky, because I'd love to be out there, but with my current job and young family, I find it very tough. So I still get out there when I can, but not anywhere near as much as I'd like.
Yeah.
So you're blessed to live so close to the beach there down on the Fleurieu Peninsula.
Yeah, very lucky. Yeah, no, it's a good spot to be working from and growing up as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And 4Life Constructions, mate, you're getting a really good reputation for the quality you build. You're really one to watch at the moment. I think it's a credit to you and your team down there. You seem like you're doing an awesome job.
I guess it's just, we've always been focused on just providing quality. We haven't set out to be the biggest or the best. We're really just focusing on what we do at the time and just really honing in on that. And just being able to provide our clients with a, nice, unique product is, awesome.
And how old are you now, Matt?
Just turned 37.
So you're still quite young for what you've been able to accomplish. So I guess, how did you get to be in the position where you are now running 4Life Constructions?
Goes back, I guess, from being a chippy on the tools, carpenter. So that started I was 18 years old when I started my apprenticeship. So was fortunate enough to, just be offered that down on the coast in Galway, and just decks and pergolas and stuff, and then transitioned into your first fix, volume builders. But pretty lucky to grow up with that, and really that just transitioned, I guess, naturally to where I am now. So travelled around Australia a fair bit, various roles within, construction, on the tools, off the tools, supervising, and then moved back to the Fleurieu about 7 years ago, and thought, why not? Seemed like there was a little opportunity, I guess, down on the coast, and just kind of ran with it, and here we are.
And tell us about some of the challenges, or how you went actually starting your own business down there.
Yeah, so I guess the challenges for any new business is just not knowing, when the work's going to come, what work it's going to be, dealing with clients, and just a bit more limited down there with resources, etc. So I just learned very early on you had to be organised. So just trying to stay well ahead of the game. Yeah, so I really took that approach and just ran with that, which has really, really helped us out in these times. So it was kind of a practice run for the COVID years, I guess. So yeah.
And I know you've got a very tight-knit team down there at 4Life, and it was great to see you all at our awards night the other night, living it up. Tell us a bit about the people at 4Life and how you've been able to gel so well together.
Yeah, been very, very lucky. So we just started off small. So it was myself and another mate of mine who came on board. So it's just the two of us, still on the tools, just doing this smaller projects. And again, naturally, we've just grown. So realised I couldn't be on the tools, 8 hours a day, 5-6 days a week, sometimes 7. So I had to transition. So we took on another qualified carpenter, and then we flowed on to another apprentice. And just being a local in that area, you kind of know who's who, and everyone knows everyone. So you can kind of just pick not who you want, but you get a pretty good idea of who's going to be on board, and trying to match that with our kind of business model. And, you need to be able to gel on site and off site. You need to be able to create a bit of a tight friendship, because it's a pretty close environment. So a lot of the, I've got six staff under me now. The boys on site, I probably see them more than I do my partner. So yeah, it's pretty unique. You need to be able to gel with your team, and very fortunate that we've just been able to get the right team members at the right time. And I think a bit of luck goes into that. But
yeah, you've got some great people working for you, mate. You really do, and I think that's a big part of your success. And what type of the market are you really pitching for down there? Is it the? I mean, it seems to me you build relatively high end. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, definitely leading that way. At the start, it was kind of just, I've always had that passion, that drive to just produce high quality work. So I think just having that passion and drive, it's really just flowed on to the clients that we get. So a lot of the work we are undertaking is your high-end custom homes, one-off custom homes that just suit the client's need. So probably now we've had COVID, a lot of people are moving down from the city. They've kind of want that lifestyle, close to the beach. Kids can grow up running around. It's just a bit more balanced down that way, but still pretty close to the city, so they can commute for work, etc. So kind of seeing that a lot in the last year or two. Just a dream home down on the coast, really.
I absolutely love it down on the Fleurieu, as I think you're well aware. So much so that I got married down there, and I really relish any chance I get to be down there. And every time I'm down your way, I'm absolutely blown away by how much building activity is going on. Like, it seems like you can go down pretty much any street down on the Fleurieu at the moment, and there's some kind of building work going on. How have you seen the town kind of change? Has it really been since COVID? Is that really been that big push, or has it been a steady growth and suddenly gone boom? Because that's what it seems like from the outside looking in.
Yeah, well, I guess it's definitely busy. It does have a big buzz about it at the moment. As I said earlier, I moved back to SA about 7 years ago. I was over in WA and up in the Northern Territory as well. So I moved back, and since growing up there, you kind of, you've got a good understanding of how busy it is normally. So probably the first couple of years, a little bit slow, but it kind of felt like it was starting to build a bit. And then as soon as COVID came into everyone's life, I think we had maybe a 2-3 month period where it kind of the unknown, and then it did just kind of click and off it went. So I think since then it just hasn't slowed down at all. There's a lot of developments coming down our way, a lot of housing. Like you said, nearly every street there's a builder building something on it. So, which is good for the community. There's lots of work down that way, and good for the younger generation. The kids finishing high school to come out and really get involved and stay local as well.
I think that's really important, mate. Regardless of what part of South Australia you live in, you want there to be opportunities for young people coming through to stay in their hometown. And I think that's been a challenge for South Australia in general, but particularly in the regions. You have young people move to the big smoke, Melbourne or Sydney or wherever it is, or even if they're moving from the regions to Adelaide. I mean, how are you going? You're really busy down your way with demand of people who want to live down there. Have you got enough trades and stuff to be able to deliver on that demand?
It is tough at sometimes. We could always use more, especially in these times. It seems there is still a lot of interest from youth, I guess. They're finishing up high school, so there is a bit of reaching out from high schools, etc. They want work experience and that. But in terms of qualified trades, you could always do with a few more. I think it is sometimes slim pickings out there, but we're fortunate enough as well. We only use the same trades on every single project, so we've got a really good relationship with all of our trades. So I am fortunate enough to not get caught out too much in that regard. So, but we can always do with a few more, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And we've got a plan, as you know, to try and boost the trades in various regions. And part of that is us through the Born to Build program going into the local high schools and promoting trades and working with a local community in the building industry in whatever region it is to, I guess, let kids know that there are opportunities locally. And I know that you've indicated that you're keen to be part of the program. How important do you think that is to go to a local school or a local footy club or whatever it is and give, examples of good positive role models of what kids can be if they work hard?
Yeah, I think it's really, really important. I think to have, a role model or, just a bit of a guide, a realistic guide of having someone that's been there and done it all is pretty valuable. And being, if it is myself, I'm a bit younger, maybe I can click a bit more with that generation and, the kids at school and really let them know that it's not, you're not out just swinging a hammer day in, day out. It can kind of go beyond that to wherever you want to take it, really. So you can really set yourself up pretty well and have that work-life balance. So it's just showing the younger kids the right pathway, I think. And by doing that, I think we should be on the right road.
We certainly hope so, mate. I think going to kids and just saying you should be a tradie is the wrong approach. We want to get people out there where they can look up to and be like, well, wow, I want to be like this person. They're a tradie and they look at their lifestyle like I want to be like them. And I think that's a lot more powerful if you want to get young people on board.
Yeah, that's right. Just like you say, like the lifestyle. So it's not just looking at the Monday to Friday 7 to 4 kind of work. You can kind of showcase what you do after that and what that trade has led into or set up for yourself is I think that's what we do need to showcase to them. And just the opportunities that can come from it. So, like I said, you can go anywhere with that. We've got some new apprentices on board, and one of them really, really wants to travel, and it was kind of hard twisting his arm to do the apprenticeship, but he's come along, and because he wants to travel so much. But you can still travel throughout your apprenticeship. You're not locked in for 4 years, and you just have to stay in that one spot. You can still, you have your holidays and Christmas holidays, and once you finish that apprenticeship and you've secured your trade, really you could go anywhere you like worldwide. So it's pretty beneficial to get a trade in your back pocket and go from there.
Oh, absolutely spot on. Regardless if you want to travel around Australia or anywhere, and you're a tradie, you're definitely going to be in demand, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, looking back, I'm super happy that I went ahead with it and got that underway, and like to look where I am now, and I've still got that passion and drive, and I don't wake up every morning and I'm hating work or hating getting out of bed. I'm up and ready to go, and that's because it's an awesome kind of job to see all the things we can create and the people you meet is really, it's really rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. So just going back to For Life now, so you're a Fleurieu Peninsula builder. What kind of area range do you cover with your builds? How far, I guess, north do you go from the Fleurieu or in other directions? What's your kind of catchment area?
I guess I suppose we've done everywhere kind of from like the Normanville, Carricalinga area all the way coastal to Goolwa, Highmarsh Island, and then north is probably just over the hill, so Wollonga, Port Wollonga, that kind of area. In saying that, I think the next 2 years are looking pretty busy. We're pretty much secured all our work, and everywhere, all the locations of those projects are pretty much, between Goolwa and Victor Harbour. So 15, 20-minute drive from home. So pretty lucky.
So I guess the temptation of just about every young builder is to try and grow big and big and big. But sometimes you can get into a bit of trouble trying to grow too fast, too quickly. Yeah. What's your goal? How many builds do you want to be building a year, ideally in, say, 10 years' time? Where do you want to take your business?
Yeah, so me and the team have really, I guess, refined where we want to go and, what our goals are with our work. Ideally, I think we're starting to build, really nice, high-end, high-quality homes. So to be able to do that consistently, you can only do a limited number. So ideally, we're probably looking at the five homes, maybe 5 to 8 homes a year. I still like to visit every project. I like to catch up with the guys on site. I like to be, a part of it with the clients and walkthroughs with all the trades, Sparky, Tyler, plumbers. So I simply won't have enough time if we take on too much of a workload. So yeah, probably that 5 to 8 builds per year is ideally where we'll sit, and really just keep that consistent for the next, say, 10 years, and focus in on how to be maybe a bit more efficient, or even bring in higher quality once again, just really always refining. So I think that's the way forward for life, really.
And what advice would you give to a young builder who's just starting out? What are the main things you've learned, on your for life journey?
Yeah, so it's a tough one. Really, to have a good understanding of business, just getting your apprenticeship, getting signed off, and you can be a absolute gun on the roof, or you can slap up a house quicker than anyone. But if you don't have everything in order behind the scenes, you will get caught out. It's a pretty tricky game. There's a lot of moving parts, and just having insurances, licenses, or your work health safety, employee agreements. There's a huge range of, I guess, boxes to tick. So I'd suggest really sitting down with someone experienced and setting a bit of a checklist and going through and making sure you feel confident, because like I said, just going out and slapping up a house as quick as you can, that isn't going to do you any good in 2-3 years time. So really having all the background work in order is probably the highest priority.
I definitely agree with you on that one, mate, because about 3 years ago, there was about 12 builders who went under in South Australia in pretty quick succession. And whilst none of them were master builders members, it did cause a lot of chaos in the industry, with a lot of our subcontractors being owed money and stuff like that. And the common theme in all of those collapses was a lack of financial management, a lack of cash flow management. And what we saw time and time again was, the builder would get paid by the client, and then they'd go out and spend the money on maybe a new boat or a new car or something like that. And then all the bills would come in and they weren't able to pay them. So like you said, mate, it's really important you're good with the actual work, but then you have to be able to look after your finances as well.
Yeah, you really do need to keep an eye on that. And like you said, you can't just you might have, I don't know, you might have $500,000 come through your bank account in a month. That doesn't mean that you've just won lotto and you can go spend it all. So you've got bills to pay, and you might have been paid for some works that have only just been finished, and more bills are to come. So yeah, you need to be pretty smart with that cash flow, especially now with all the price increases and stuff like that, a lot of variations, and things are always changing a lot more, especially with custom homes as well. They're custom, so we haven't built the same. We're not building the same house twice, so little things do pop up, and you need to be able to deal with that. So
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, how have the supply challenges been from your perspective, from a regional builder? Because we know they're a really big issue for most people in the city. Have they been particularly tough down in the country, or do you have those relationships where you've been able to get through it okay?
Yeah, a little bit of both. There's been a few times where we've been caught out with say, some timber beams or etc. just for the framing stage, but usually you can work a way around it. Like, building is problem solving, so you should generally be able to find a way. But we do have a really good relationship, like I said, not just our trades but our suppliers. We use time and time again. So when you really need a hand, generally they're there to help support you, and we haven't had any major delay. There's plenty of work to be done, so we can kind of shuffle our projects around to suit. But yeah, we've been pretty fortunate. I think building good, strong relationships is just a must in building. You can't just shop around and, the cheapest is the cheapest, and you do need to build a relationship. And if that costs a little bit more, it's going to come back and pay a lot more later on.
The other really big challenge for most people in the industry this year has been lack of labour and people being out sick with COVID and stuff. Has that impacted your team at all? Have you had to get back on the tools? How's it been for you guys?
We've been pretty lucky. I think pretty much everyone now has had had COVID. So with us, there was all kind of spread throughout maybe a 3 or 4 month period. So we were able to just keep working. I mean, the early stages when limited numbers on sites, etc., was a bit tough. But all in all, we've been pretty lucky. The other trades, that they have been impacted. They just can't. Your scheduling, I like to be pretty organised and well scheduled. So I'm booking trades months in advance. But the old COVID phone call comes in, and that week or that month is just thrown on its head. So you just need to be able to adapt and kind of roll with it, I think.
It's really tricky. Like even at Master Builders, we've felt it just with our internal stuff, but particularly with our apprentices. So, we employ about 160 apprentices, and earlier on in the year with the close contacts, they were just constantly off. They'd be out as a close contact. They'd come back for work for 2 days. There'd be another close contact. They'd come back for a week. Then they'd have COVID. It was really disrupting, and we were concerned about it because we really think it's really important to keep the apprentice engaged and constantly at work. You don't want them to be away from work or they can lose interest. So it's been pretty challenging for everyone, I think.
Yeah, that is a good call. It's that they do, especially with apprentices. They need to be on site as much as possible because they'll just, you're building confidence. So the longer they're on site, the better they're going to get and feel more comfortable within that job, I guess. So to have them on and off isn't really good for anyone, and employers as well. Just the financial strain, trying to complete the projects on time, and just dealing with multiple phone calls back and forth, and the rescheduling does take its toll. But again, I think everyone is in the same boat. So as long as we communicate to each other and kind of, transparent about everything and can actually try and help each other out and give each other a little bit of leeway, I think that's the only way through it. And hopefully we get back into some kind of rhythm towards the end of the year, and hopefully definitely next year we start to get a bit more normality back into it.
Absolutely. Now, going back to your home patch, the Fleurieu Peninsula, obviously it's a very desirable place for a lot of people to live. Is there enough land down there at the moment? Is, I guess, community infrastructure keeping up with the demand?
Yeah, so there are some new developments coming down out in like the Encounter Bay area, and I think there's a new one coming potentially at Middleton. But in my opinion, Victor Harbour's going to struggle a little bit, just the getting into the main town centre. Even you get Christmas time, Easter, those big holiday periods, and it gets a bit difficult. So us locals try and avoid it. I think this is something the region's going to have to adapt with. So whether they're just going to have to put some resources in on the outskirts of town potentially, just to help accommodate all the people moving down our way, but I guess that's one for the town planner. But
yes, there's a lot of little towns around your way. Are some of the towns proving more popular with people wanting to move down, less popular?
I think it's pretty even. I mean, Port Elliott's always been, one of the biggest ones, and pretty hard and sought after to get into. But I mean, anywhere along that stretch from High Marsh Island all the way out to Encounter Bay, like you really can't go too wrong. They're pretty close proximity, so it's a short drive to any of the beaches, and it does have a pretty good buzz about it. There's definitely a lot of stuff happening. There's hotel upgrades, new hotels. There's what else is there? Hungry Jack's. So
where's the Hungry Jack's? Because you've had the McDonald's for a long time. Where's the Hungry Jack's going?
That's the Victor Harbour Footy Oval.
Oh, is it?
So,
okay.
Yeah, just around the corner.
Is that up and running now?
That's up and running.
Goes to show how long it's been since I've been down your way.
Well, they got that up pretty quick. But I think I haven't been in there yet. But you drive past it and she's pretty full every day. But so there is a lot going on down our way, and it's good to see. It's good to see a bit of a buzz, because it did slow down for a period of time, and you just need to be able to keep the younger generation, I guess, kind of put. You want them to be able to pick up a trade, or even just to work anywhere on the coast, and really, stay home. It's a pretty cool area where we live. So
yeah, definitely.
I don't really see the need to be moving from there.
Yeah, I think the aquatic centre that got built down there has been a really good thing. So when I've been down there on holidays and it's been bucketing down with rain, I'll just take my little girls there, for example. It opens up the number of things you can do down there.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
If the weather turns bad, it's a really good option, I found. So.
Yeah, no, that is a good one. So, yeah, no, I'm not really sure. I think there's some cellar doors and stuff on their way, but yeah, I'm not sure, any other major projects coming this way, but I'm sure they're not too far away.
Absolutely. Well, Matt, it's been great chatting with you today, mate. From a lot of different angles, skill shortages, regional builder, for life, a lot of really interesting stuff. I've known you for quite a while now, and I think it's been great to see your progression into running a really good building company at the moment in For Life. And mate, I think with your attitude and work ethic and the team you got down there at For Life, good things are only going to continue happening for you. So I wish you all the best, mate, and thanks for coming in today.
Thanks, Will. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. Cheers, mate.
Thanks for joining me on Building Perspective. For more information on master builders or our guests, please visit our website at mbasa.com.au.